What's up, everybody? How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. It's been a crazy day, right? We've had the Walker Howard news. He's going to transfer to Ole Miss. And you know, a lot of people just immediately did not want to even hear it, did not even want to, were just tuning out of that one. They were disgusted. But it's like, well, what do you think's gonna happen when a kid that good leaves LSU? He's gonna go somewhere great, which is usually a team or someplace where he can contend, or someplace with a great coach, which is, you know, usually a place that we despise as LSU fans. You know, Ole Miss being one of them. Hotty toddy. Seeing Walker Howard post a hotty toddy post was it was hard to see, it was hard to take, but at the same time, after seeing a lot of the social media posts going, you know, against him the last few weeks, I'm almost like numb to it all. Like, yeah, you know, like, it's sad, it sucks, I wish he was not leaving LSU, but hell, you know, it seems like we almost wanted him to leave the way we set this up to happen. So, you know, I mean, and what I mean by that is by the fans' reactions, the fans being really pissy and pissed and that type of thing. But, you know, today there was more than just Walker Howard conclusion. While many sites were telling you LSU have 16 transfers leaving for the portal, LSU's roster is gonna have this guy and that guy next. Only LSUODYSSEY.COM could tell you that 2 more Tigers would not be on that roster anymore. Exclusive breaking news stories, 2 under 24 hours. LSU offensive lineman Kardell Thomas will enter the portal. Story that's been broken by us now has appeared on On3, appeared on Sports Illustrated, appeared a few places. Sometimes without the proper credit, which is something we've taken so much of in our career, and it's messed up. Adults who are like threatened or something, and then they're, you know, probably in their head they're like, this is such an insignificant story, why do they care about credit so much or something? And it's like, well, if it's such an insignificant story, why are you like going to this length to make it seem like you reported it? Like, that seems like doing a story and a half. So it's more validating and funny to me than anything. But so yeah, two Tigers left. You know, Kardell Thomas, offensive lineman, been highly touted for years. Number 4 overall offensive guard in the country, coming out of Southern Lab. You know, won some championships there, had a ton of promise, and it seemed to all come crashing down with that ankle injury. Even though he had 11 appearances, 2 starts in 2021, he was looking really good that season. He never quite was able to get a sustained chance at LSU. People are acting like he was nonstop injured on the sideline. No, he hasn't been injured for quite some time. He's been healthy for a long time. It's just he hasn't been given that opportunity to go back and show what he can do. Because I don't know if you remember, but in the 2019 preseason practices, Kardell was rotating with the ones. So Kardell Thomas, as a freshman, whether he started or not, was being groomed to play a swingman type of role. It could have been Adrian McGee comes in there and it doesn't, maybe he's a non-factor, but it could have been that Kardell is that backup to McGee in a way, and would have had significant snaps during that season. I mean, there were so many plays in that season that were of great significance at varying times. He would have seen action in that 2019 season, and it's kind of like another, Kardell's career is like another what if at LSU in LSU history, because he really should have been a dominant offensive lineman for this team. And the fact that James Craig could not develop, could not give him a chance, could not trust any of these offensive linemen, and then, referring to Kardell, grossly underestimate him because of his age and basically just, write him off, ignore him. It's wrong. And you heard Kardell say that in our exclusive interview this last summer. He pointed the finger at James Craig for having some bad development to his coaching in comparison to Brad Davis especially. Well, this is once again a question of playing time. Just like Walker Howard leaving, Kardell Thomas knows he has 2 years of eligibility left. He knows he had to move elsewhere to get that time. And I think you're going to see him really figure this out quickly. There are schools that have already been talking with him. People are like, isn't that tampering? Of course it is. Schools have already been talking to him, so yeah. And that wasn't even the only breaking news story. This was last night, around 9 p.m. Central. We got the green light to release a story, and I knew Walker Howard was going to be going to Ole Miss today. I wanted this story to take precedence and have some sort of stake to the news cycle. And I think we accomplished that, more than accomplished that. Jack Mashburn leaves the program. Tight end fullback leaves the program as a national champion, as the leading blocker for a 1,000-yard rusher, as the lead blocker for someone who has the single game rushing record at LSU, Ty Davis Price, 2021. He also caught the fake punt against Alabama. This was a former quarterback. Former quarterback coming out of high school. And, he's extremely athletic in the blocking, extremely athletic out of the backfield. We wish we would have seen Jack Mashburn get more opportunities. And he got certain injuries at certain times this season that prevented that. He was re-injured in the Citrus Bowl, and he had a neck issue happen, and a back thing as well. And so this was a decision made by Jack that, hey, you know what? I've accomplished everything at LSU. I've lived that dream. I'm going to move on to future endeavors, feeling good, and I'm going to make sure I'm healthy, and I'm going to take care of myself. And it was really, I think, a very smart decision by Jack Mashburn, because there's more to life than football. There's some things that I've been told keep zip on, so I'm going to, but I will just say that Jack will be using his expertise to help future Tigers, and LSU football are opening the door for him to do that. They're providing opportunities for him to come back and give back, and he's excited about that. And Jack has a hell of a future, a lot of options. LSU made sure he's kept his scholarship. That's why the medical retirement is there, and he will be graduating in May. Degree in, I believe, finance. So it's like, it's sad to see these guys go. It's sad to see both of these guys are members of that 2019 team. You know, Jack Mashburn walked on in 2019. He was a walk-on in 2019, okay? In 2020, he kind of built it up a little bit, just little by little, impressed Coach O little by little, and practice by practice. And then he earned that scholarship. Do you know how tough it is to walk on at a school like LSU? Be a player like Jack Mashburn, playing the position Jack Mashburn plays, and to earn a scholarship. Do you know how tough that is? Do you know how much talent and athleticism, hunger, heart, and desire, and hard work and time that takes? I mean, just that alone. Forget the national championship. Forget the records he directly set up. Forget the fake punt catch. You know, like, that alone is one hell of an accomplishment that it's unbelievable. And for me, Jack Mashburn is a Tiger I will always remember, because Jack Mashburn, he is someone who lived to delete opponents. Okay? He didn't, run to block and, run for his life or something. He ran to take yours. He took no prisoners in his blocks, and he never got penalized on his blocks. They could be as violent and as vicious as possible. You'd never get a penalty. He always knew exactly how to execute the plays. He always knew exactly how to execute the blocks. Knew exactly what he was doing. Very football smart, very intelligent young man, and there's a reason he didn't play as many snaps this year in comparison to 2021. And that's, definitely what was going on injury-wise. But it's sad to see Jack Mashburn go. It's sad to see Kardell Thomas go. It's sad to see some of these guys go, but they leave really strong legacies at LSU. They leave, an impact on this team, and now they're going forward with very bright futures. I think, when you're talking about Kardell and where he could end up, he could end up almost anywhere from Jackson State to Florida to you'd never know. And from what I'm hearing, some of the suitors for Kardell and their pedigree may surprise some of Kardell's naysayers who've been kind of tearing him down lately online and stuff, thinking he's washed up or doesn't have it, can't do it anymore, or whatever. I think they might be a little shocked by the coaching staffs who disagree with that thesis. But yeah, big day on LSUODYSSEY.com. 2 breaking news stories. A lot more content coming. we almost had a third. I mean, there was LSU almost lost a linebacker to the portal. Okay, LSU already having issues with the linebacker position. We've already lost 5 linebackers to the portal this offseason. Okay. And that's not even counting Phillip Webb, who's basically a hybrid. Okay. And now we were about to lose a 6th. A third-year player on this team, I should say going into his 3rd year, who was going to leave to go to a hometown school because of what he was being offered. So just to say it straight up, that offer was topped so that player would stay at LSU. That's what I'm being told, and I'm being told that from a source that is as good as they come. Most of the team, I'm told, knew about that, but that's something I won't get too into. You can read between the lines. I'm sure you'll see a new face join one of these NIL groups, one of these NIL collectives, and or not, I shouldn't say collective, one of these NIL one of these companies. They'll be the face of one of these companies soon or something like that, and you'll be able to kind of go, oh, okay. But that's all I can really reveal on that. But yeah, LSU almost lost another player as well, and that was another story we were prepared to break as well if that was going to go down and if that was going to fall into place. But I'm actually very relieved we didn't break that story. I'm relieved that players stayed at LSU. I would rather have not broken either one of these stories, and Kardell and Mashburn both stay. But I think this is the right thing for Jack's future, for Jack Mashburn's life. He has achieved what he wants to achieve football-wise, and now he's closing the door on that. And it's kind of a beautiful, happy ending that we rarely see in college football, especially right now when there's a lot of toxicity and there's a lot of debate and vicious, divisive opinion. We can all kind of unite and unify around Jack Mashburn. We can all agree that he's a fan favorite, and I think that's, if you're going to take anything from today, and it's been a crazy, wild day with some news maybe that was disappointing, annoying, maddening, whatever. That's one piece of news that we can all cling to and say, yes, that's the good stuff right there, But anyway, everybody, thank you for joining me on this drive to pick up Sage, and be talking to you soon. Check out LSUODYSSEY.com this week. We're going to be continuing that top 10 Tigers of 2022 list that we are down to the top 4 right here. Down to the top 4. You can definitely check out the entire countdown there. On the homepage, there are tabs. Go right to the writings menu, and then there's sections where you can really go right down to it. You can hit that search. You can find that top 10 Tigers list countdown, player by player, next level stats. We're talking stats you can't find anywhere else. Pressures, hits, average depth of target. We're talking next level crazy numbers and analysis and information as well. So definitely check that out. We've got a lot of that stuff coming. We've got some more news. The news is not going to stop coming. And just so you know, players who have entered the portal today, you might not find out for a few days. So, just because the portal's been officially closed doesn't mean that you will be done hearing about it. So keep that in mind. Everybody, peace.